Oh, let's go everyone. We're mere days away from getting some more premium scenes coming out, but we still got so much to go through. I mean, the last thing you want to do is go to some random vendor on the street and sell your unique one-of-a-kind shotgun to them. I mean, honestly, I'd feel horrible if I did that. In the famous words that we all know, you gotta catch them all. So how is looting going to work in Cyberpunk 2077? After all, the system's a bit confusing for anyone going into it for the first time. There's just random boxes dropping around you. Where are these eddies that I could loot? Why are they not on enemies in Cyberpunk 2077? And then there's the entire crafting system and junk systems where, you can loot garbage off enemies. Some of it is useful, others useless. How do you know the difference? I'd even go so far as to say you'd be surprised to hear that Cyberpunk's looting system is actually built to be easier and faster for you when you're playing. I know the press said it's a slow burning experience, but they've tried their best to speed things up in the game rather than being slow and just looting being annoying. We've had a lot of info about looting more hidden in the gameplay footage and trailers. Really hidden. They haven't wanted to talk about it. So we actually know a lot more about looting than we actually think we do. Like, there's even special cyberware designed to help you find hidden loot crates and hidden loot in the game, aka that's probably where a handful of unique weapons are going to be. I'm just joking, or am I? I wouldn't be surprised if they throw one in the ocean just for laughs, but we'll get back to that. Before we go any further, I must say there's no leaked stuff in these gameplay info vids, in case you're wondering, because nudge nudge, reviews are about to start dropping this week for the future. And of course, if you enjoy this video at any point, don't forget to like button and subscribe for more daily top quality content from your one and only pal Flix here. I mean, how many pals do you need when you got Flix here? Alright, so before we can see absolutely anything about looting, we have to talk about this auto pickup system, because it's a little bit cluttered. So a lot of people missed it when we originally saw looting. We saw boxes dropping from enemies, and it was a shock. I believe it was during the Weapons of Destruction trailer. It was like, oh, what is this? What on earth is this supposed to be? Is this a joke? But they actually came out later and explained what it was actually meant to be. So these boxes are only ammo being dropped, but that's not really the full truth. That's what they told us. When you take down an enemy, a box drops. That box holds both eddies and ammo, and when you walk over it or near it, it actually auto picks it up. Like I said, they tried to make it a bit faster, more streamlined, I guess. They chose to speed up the looting. Let's be honest, if you got insanely OP weapons, you're taking down enemies left, right, and center, it'll get really slow and annoying to walk over and loot only the eddies and ammo. Speaking of looting, because I don't touch up on it later in my notes. It's actually a system similar to Fallout 4, where you're still in the game. You don't go into a pause menu. You can straight up loot the object exactly like Fallout 4. You're still in the game. Literally nothing. It doesn't. In the entire game, they focused on making sure the controls on the player, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But when talking about eddies and ammo, there are things that everyone needs and will go ahead and pick up. So that's why the boxes are there. If everyone's gonna pick them up, why make them go over and spend the extra time? If you don't believe me, and if I'm not lazy, I'll actually edit it on screen. We saw this in the Saving the Monk quest, where V was taking down the Maelstrom members. Then he walked over them and he looted the eddies and the ammo. It's a bit of a cluttered UI. They've actually reworked that UI a bit, because that footage was a bit older. Because it had showing so many things back then. Every time you took down an enemy, you had like the XP, the eddies, etc. Other than that, you've probably realized these weird cube icons in the gameplay footages that we've seen. Footage, multiple footage, whatever the plural version of that is. Such as the Xbox gameplay and the Monk mission, where you're like, what on earth is this? Those are actually loot boxes, loot crates, places with loot in them would be the more general thing I could say about, because even enemies, when they go down, they have that loot box icon on top of them, places you can get loot. I'm not so sure if their color actually means anything, or if the color relates to the highest quality item that could be looted from the box, something like Apex Legends. It's just too unclear due to how staggered the footage we're seeing is. They've reworked so much that it's hard to say if the color matters or if it's just a customizable UI part. Looting NPCs is so important in this game or any RPG. Like, if I can't get the weapon he's shooting at me, then I consider it lame. Like, what? Did the game disintegrate the weapon when I took him down? We haven't seen any enemy looting. Sad face. Or have we? There's one instance, just a single time, yes, one time where we actually saw you loot an enemy. Well, not really loot, for a split second after V finishes off a Maelstrom member with his cyber blades. You can see what you could loot off of them, which is an uncommon, oh sorry, not an uncommon, a common constitutional arms unity, 3 flashbangs, and a frag. And at this point in development, the box colors did mean the highest rarity item, because remember, this could have changed, but the Maelstrom person you took down earlier had more of a green box, which would denote uncommon. I'll get into rarities in a bit, so don't worry if you're not as caught up as everyone else. I'll explain it. But yeah, this was like a year old or something. There's also junk that could be looted in the game world, and collectibles, whatever type of premium collectibles that they could be throwing at us, because we do have things hinting towards Saints Row 3 style premium bat. That'd be pretty funny, but I don't know what I titled the video or the quest related to it. Maybe I'll just be like premium bat. I don't know. YouTube's pretty picky about this stuff. But yeah, a couple of articles have talked about junk, and there seems to be 2 types of junk, really. Junk that you could actually use in crafting, so more useful junk, you could think of it, and upgrading your equipment, because that is a major part of Cyberpunk 2077. Just how in-depth the system is, you'd think that the devs would want to push you towards using it more, and obviously making your weapons a little bit stronger, you know. But also junk that's actually junk, that's just straight up there to sell. Actually, the press that played the game did talk about being able to sell junk as well. I don't recall if it was a joke or not about having a button to sell all junk, or like all useless junk. I don't remember if that was a joke or that was a feature they wanted to see. It was so long ago. I'm not talking about the 16 hours by then. I'm talking about the 4 hours the press got to play beforehand. Also, characters in the game world will drop clues where some hidden loot might be. Like, not really in-game NPCs, not those random people walking around the streets, but maybe you could eavesdrop on a random faction member's conversation, being like, yeah, we just got a new shipment of X things, and we've put them in storage or something. But yeah, when we get into, like, looting, there's things about looting chips. It's so unclear, though. Like, I've tried to look into it, but things are so old that you just don't know. So take this with a grain of salt. There might be special cyberware that helps you find hidden loot crates easier, which actually really isn't that hard to imagine, since the upgrade scanner needs to have some sort of upgradability to it, since right now your Mark 1 garbage scanner that you get at the start of the game, because everyone has to get those the scanner and the hand implants, because they unlock parts of the UI. It's actually pretty good. It scans weak spots. That's all you need, really. There's also there was also, or there still is, it's really tough, chips that were talked about ages ago that would give you the abilities of having cyberware. Like, for example, a chip that acts as if you had cyber legs for a short period of time. Think of it like Scrolls in Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls series in general. But that was so long ago that it might have been scrapped. Like, when I'm saying long ago, I'm talking like 2018 level long ago. And we've seen how things have changed a lot. And not including back in 2018, we had things like wall running that's been cut. This might have also been cut or just didn't make it past the design phase, because I don't see how you can have cyber legs with an implant just because your normal legs are there. Do your normal legs go into like hyperdrive or something? I don't know. But just in case it wasn't, if you see one of those, maybe don't pop it right away, since it only lasts a temporary time. Maybe save it for a boss fight or something. Now we have gotten we have to get into things like consumables, like healing items. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what other types of consumables there are. I just haven't looked into it enough, or maybe we just haven't seen enough. But we do know there's like healing items, obviously. We don't know if those could be looted. Well, at least off enemies. Obviously, you could loot them off chests. Why would you not put them in chests? But when it comes to enemies, we just don't know so far. Because technically, devs have went so far as to say anything you can use in the game world, the enemies can. But does that include healing items? That's a tough one. That's tough, because like, I could see an issue where you're like nailing at a boss, and the boss just takes out his inhaler, pops, and he's like, yep, I'm full HP again. Now, we have to get into the more technical stuff, which I've clearly put at the end of this video for a reason, because I was a little bit too tired. Yeah, I want to go over the more interesting stuff first that people might have not known. So we do have different rarities of some things, such as armor, weapons, and cyberware. Except cyberware is a little bit more interesting. But anyways, you could loot. But anyways, you can loot common items that are marked as gray, uncommon items which are marked in green, or a greenish color, we could say. Rare items marked in blue, epic, which is purplish, and legendary being gold. Now, I know some articles, I was researching this, obviously. Some articles actually talk about 4, and there's such a misconception about the number there are. I've seen 4, I've seen 5, I've seen 6. There is 5 because there's 5 different nudge bars generally. So you can't have 6, you can't have 4. We've seen in-game uncommon. We've seen gray common items, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary, and they've talked about those. So those are the right number. I know there's articles all over the place with like different numbers, but that's what it actually is. But yeah, those gold items are legendary items. We've seen them a couple of times. One that sticks out specifically is Sasquatch's unique sledgehammer, because we got it face first. We got a view of it face first when Sasquatch launches it at you in the deep dive. Some people, for some odd reason, seem to think there's more categories or less, which I already briefly touched up on, but I have no idea where this is coming from. Like, I've legit to find what started the 6 bars for some reason. It's just filled with random people saying random things, really. First of all, there's no space for another bar to be filled up. There's only 5 bars. We've not seen a 6th item. What is the 6th item going to be called either way? Like, what? And adding to that, the devs have only talked about having 5 different rarities, saying legendaries are unique weapons that feel like they have an impact, such as weapons an NPC might take out of their own holster to give you as a quest reward. That way there's some impact to it, some emotional impact, this weapon's pretty cool. They've also said that they have unique abilities, like, associated with them, and that you can't really customize them. So we don't know what those abilities are, but apparently unique abilities to them. I don't know how legendary armor is going to work, though. Like, what, are they going to take off their jacket and be like, hey, V, thanks for helping me out, here's my jacket? I'm pretty sure that system's only for weapons, so like they take it out of their holster. So if you see an NPC with a unique weapon, maybe do their quest first. If they still don't give it to you, just off them and loot it off them at that point. That's what they deserve for being greedy. Like, bro, share those unique stuff with us. But the majority of the things you'll loot are between common and epic. I don't know why I keep saying uncommon, but yeah, they're between common and epic. Cyberware is the more interesting one, though. Now, things could have definitely changed since they originally talked about cyberware. But we have no reason to believe that they have. The press that played the game, trailers, interviews, and everything else just haven't really contradicted that you can't loot cyberware. I believe when they were asked about looting cyberware, they mentioned the Scavengers faction, who their entire existence is to have cyberware ripped off of people, which we saw in the 48-minute demo when saving Sandra Dorset, which was someone they wanted to rip apart for her parts. That's such a good sentence. You know what? Premium sentences right there. But yeah, they mentioned the Scavengers, and they said V couldn't be like the Scavengers, ripping cyberware off of people. But even when we went over this the first time, I said that maybe that doesn't really apply to like things like unique quest rewards. And now we've seen a shot of what appears to be Dex's cyber arm mounted on V's wall alongside some other implants, which seems to hint towards maybe unique legendary cyberware could be gotten as part of a quest chain. I don't know. That scene was pretty confusing, to be real with you. I still haven't made progress towards it, because we legit had what looks like Johnny Silverhand's arm mounted on the wall, which is driving me crazy for the past few days. Because, okay, it's 100% confirmed that there are things of Silverhand's that you're going to have to pretty much collect. His dog tags, his weapon, his arm, his unique car, because there's an achievement related to collecting everything of Silverhands. But it's driving me crazy because nothing that happened in the tower, the Arasaka Tower, makes sense anymore. Because the way that the story goes is Silverhand dies to Adam Smasher, Smasher goes to fight Morgan Blackhand, the tower goes down around them, and no one really knows what happened afterwards. So how did anyone recover Silverhand's arm? How did Silverhand get so killed by the revised version? So many questions, so little answers. But there is some good news. There is some good news. We will actually be able to see the way the events actually played out, because through flashbacks, and we've already seen that scene specifically in the trailers where Silverhand gets pushed all the way, boom, through the wall, and Smasher's like, "Told you I'll end you." So we'll see what happened after that. Assuming Silverhand survived the encounter with Smasher somehow, we'd see how the actual fight ended, and if, I guess, Morgan Blackhand won, or if Smasher won. Who knows? Or if no one won. Yeah, I'm going to be pulling a good 24 hours from after launch playing the game. So let's see what type of mayhem we can manage to get into, because for those that don't know, the game actually releases at like 7 p.m. Eastern time on December 9th. So about 5 hours sooner than most people expected. I mean, I'm not going to complain, because you get to play the game earlier, you know? Gotta get those extra 5 hours of gameplay so we can see. And those 5 hours, they're good enough to end the prologue. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, leave a dislike, you heartless, absolutely heartless monster. And subscribe anyways, because, you know what? Smasher will smash you anyways. I guarantee that. But yeah. That was more or less everything about looting that I could, like, even think about. I don't know what else would go into looting. I don't know. I still want to, I want to go over that scene. There's so many things about that cyber arm scene. Like, okay, can we put like equipment up for show as a type of like customization option? Even though, you can't customize apartments, but can you put like trophies up for show? Why is Dex's arm there? Why is so many things there? Anyways, peace, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be my job to have to sit there and be like, okay, how does this make sense? Considering we only have like 10 days left now, 9 days when we see this, somewhere around that. Hold up, is November 31 days? No, November is 30 days. So no, we've literally gotten. Whoops, hit the mic. We've only got literally 9 days from the time I'm recording this till the game launches, which is epic. That's really epic. Which I'm guessing in another couple days the reviews are going to start dropping, so we'll see. Anyways, yeah, peace.